FHFair.com.
Tonight, several developing stories: the deadly workplace shooting, the urgent manhunt across state lines in the East, the gunman allegedly calling for employees to gather, then shooting and killing co-workers, then accused of opening fire in another state. The outrage tonight: President Trump beginning the battle over what are normally solemn calls and letters to the families of the fallen. Tonight, one of his own calls now under scrutiny. One family's outrage: the president says that's not how the call went. The American gymnastics star, what she's now revealed: alleged sexual assault even as she won the gold, describing what she says was the scariest night of her life. Tonight, passengers horrified as they watched pilots fly a jet too close to the tower, the new investigation. And the NFL commissioner late today asked if the NFL and the players are showing total disrespect for our country, as the president now says. Roger Goodell's answer to that.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Wednesday night. And we begin with that deadly workplace rampage. And tonight, an urgent manhunt across state lines. It began at an office park in Maryland. A suspect reportedly gathering his co-workers and then firing on them. The images today: survivors in shock. Then authorities say he opened fire in another state, 50 miles away. And tonight, that search. ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas leads us off from Maryland.
The shooting began just before 9 a.m. at the suburban office park outside of Baltimore.
I have a 40-ish-year-old male with a gunshot to the head. He is awake and is fine.
An employee was firing at coworkers at Advanced Granite Solutions.
We have multiple witnesses saying it's a shooter at Granite Place.
Police descend on the scene, telling people outside to take cover.
He started screaming and he said, "Get inside."
Kevin Doyle telling our Stephanie Ramos he saw 3 men running from the building.
They were terrified. I never seen that look on anybody before. They were very, very upset.
A lone shooter with a handgun. Schools placed on lockdown. Businesses sheltering in place. 3 people dead, 2 others critically wounded. The gunman fleeing the scene.
There's a individual out there on the loose who committed, one of the most heinous acts we've ever seen in our county. Certainly, we consider him armed and dangerous.
The suspect identified as 37-year-old Rade L. Prince, a machine operator at Advanced Granite Solutions. Reports surfacing that Prince gathered his co-workers to execute them. Prince apparently a man with a troubled past. Earlier this year, a restraining order was sought against Prince, according to court records, after he allegedly punched an employee at a previous job. Prince's boss felt threatened when Prince allegedly returned multiple times after being fired. The massive manhunt underway. Roughly 2 hours later, Prince allegedly showed up in Wilmington, Delaware, 50 miles away. The shooting had not stopped.
We're getting reports of one patient shot multiple times.
Our officers actually saw the vehicle leaving the scene. We were able to give a short chase, but lost the vehicle going northbound on 30th and Market Street.
As the hunt continued, billboard alerts placed along the I-95 corridor. And back at the initial crime scene, this plea from police.
I would ask him to consider what he's already done and put an end to it and turn himself in.
So let's get to Pierre Thomas with us live tonight. And Pierre, federal authorities are all involved in this hunt tonight?
That's right, David. It's a broad dragnet with police all along the East Coast, the ATF, the FBI, and the U.S. Marshals, all on the hunt for a man they believe is desperate. David?
Pierre Thomas leading us off from Maryland. Pierre, thank you. We turn next here to an angry war of words tonight over one of the most solemn duties of the president, the commander-in-chief, comforting the families of the fallen. A task rarely discussed, but the president brought it up this week, comparing himself to his predecessors. And now tonight, one of his own calls to this widow under growing scrutiny. Here's ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega.
Myesha Johnson was there to receive her husband's remains, their 6-year-old daughter by her side. Johnson, 6 months pregnant with their 3rd child. As she wept over Sergeant LaDavid Johnson's flag-draped coffin, she gave a last kiss. Just moments before, that phone call from President Trump. Myesha Johnson answered in the car, and listening on speakerphone, her local Congresswoman, Democrat Frederica Wilson.
I heard him say, well, I guess he knew what he was signing up for, but it still hurts. And I couldn't believe that he said that.
Wilson says the president never mentioned Sergeant Johnson by name.
He kept referring to him as your guy. He never called his name. So that was even more painful.
But today, President Trump disputed that.
I had a very nice conversation with the woman, with the wife, who sounded like a lovely woman, did not say what the Congresswoman said, and most people aren't too surprised to hear that.
And on Twitter, he said, Democrat Congresswoman totally fabricated what I said to the wife of a soldier who died in action. And I have proof. Sad.
What proof does President Trump have when he says Congresswoman Wilson is not telling the truth? Are there recordings of his phone call with Myeshia Johnson?
No, but there were several people in the room from the administration that were on the call, including the Chief of Staff, General John Kelly.
But Sergeant Johnson's mother said she too heard that phone call, and she confirmed Wilson's account to the Washington Post, saying President Trump did disrespect my son and my daughter, and also me and my husband. President Trump started the firestorm himself with the false claim that past presidents, including President Obama, did not personally call the grieving families of fallen soldiers.
The traditional way, if you look at President Obama and other presidents, most of them didn't make calls. A lot of them didn't make calls. I like to call when it's appropriate, when I think I'm able to do it.
He said he's called nearly every family.
I have called, I believe everybody, but certainly I'll use the word virtually everybody.
There have been families that have since come forward in this to the Associated Press. Their names are in these reports who say they've not actually heard from this White House in any capacity.
All of the individuals that the president has been presented with through the proper protocol have been contacted through that process.
Today, while one leading Republican insisted the president cares deeply about these families, he also said this.
It's not about how Obama did it versus how I did it. It's about how we should move, how we all should do it. We should all say to every family member of the fallen, you're in our prayers, what can we do to help? So going down the road of suggesting that President Obama didn't do this or didn't do that, I think just took us off base.
Cecilia, President Trump is now facing new questions tonight about another call he made, this time to the father of another fallen soldier, and a promise President Trump made.
David, this father says that President Trump promised him a $25,000 personal check during a phone call shortly after his son's death in June. Today, this father told the Washington Post that check has not yet arrived. Now, the White House tonight, David, is telling us that this check has been sent. They say, however, it is a complicated process for this president to mail personal funds, hence the delay.
Cecilia Vega with us tonight. Cecilia, thank you. We turn next here tonight to the health care whiplash. The president slashing $7 billion in subsidies meant to help working class families afford their insurance. Then last night, supporting a bipartisan plan to save those subsidies for now. But tonight, it turns out, he's now against it. So what's going on here? Here's ABC's Mary Bruce.
It was just a week ago when the president launched a crusade to dismantle Obamacare piece by piece. Then that late-night bombshell. The president cutting off $7 billion in subsidies that help lower-income Americans, people who make too much to qualify for Medicaid but still need help affording coverage. But the president argued they were a bailout for insurers.
People will have great health care.
On the Hill, a deal was already in the works. Late yesterday, an agreement to extend the payments another 2 years. The president, optimistic.
The solution will be for about a year or 2 years.
This morning, the senator behind the deal praised the president for getting the ball rolling.
I give him full credit for engineering this bipartisan agreement.
But just minutes later, the president tweeting, I am supportive of Lamar as a person and also of the process, but I can never support bailing out insurance companies who have made a fortune with Obamacare.
Mary's live on the Hill tonight, and the president this evening saying he's still hoping for a bigger fix to overhaul Obamacare. But Mary, some studies actually show that cutting billions in subsidies could actually add to the deficit.
Yeah, David, while the president and lawmakers continue to debate, without these subsidies, the federal deficit is projected to increase by nearly $200 billion, and premiums for millions could rise. David.
Mary Bruce with us again tonight. We turn next here to the NFL. Late today, the NFL commissioner was asked about what the president has said. Is the NFL showing total disrespect for our country? Tonight, Goodell's answer to that. Here's ABC's Adrian Bankert.
Commissioner Roger Goodell taking the debate over NFL protests head on.
We believe that our players should stand for the national anthem. That's an important part of our game and our moments, and we believe in that.
But no new rules or penalties for those anthem protests. It comes after the NFL revealed it didn't ask players for a commitment to stand. The president this morning taking aim at the league, tweeting, "The NFL has decided it will not force players to stand for the playing of our national anthem. Total disrespect for our great country."
The president this morning tweeted that both you and the league have disrespect for the country. Is he wrong about that, and if so, why?
Well, as I just said, we respect our country, respect our flag, we respect our national anthem.
NFL officials also not saying whether the league would step in if an owner tried to discipline a player who refused to stand, instead committing to more talks.
We believe doing the right thing is what you ultimately have to do. And I think listening to our players, understanding our players.
Late today, the president weighing in again. Too much talk, not enough action. Stand for the national anthem.
We're not looking to get into politics. What we're looking to do is continue to keep people focused on football.
Goodell says only a handful of players are protesting compared to a few weeks ago. Owners and players are scheduled to meet again within 2 weeks. David?
Adrian, thank you. Next here this evening, if you thought the Russians and their involvement ended with the election, authorities tonight say not so fast, that they are still hard at work. In fact, this evening, a new report about Russia's efforts to stir up racial conflict right now inside the United States. Here's ABC's chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross.
Hey, Black Matters US. Hey.
A stunning claim tonight about just who's behind the group promoted in this music video, Black Matters US. Congressional investigators say Black Matters US was actually set up by the Russians during the 2016 election to stir up racial tensions.
It's not fair. I don't think it's fair. Black Matters.
The St. Louis rapper who wrote the music for the video says he got Instagram messages from people he did not know asking him to write a song dealing with police brutality.
I had no clue that it was Russian or anything like that. No, sir. It messed me up.
All part of a sophisticated campaign that included Facebook ads, Twitter posts, and efforts to organize at least 2 big rallies, one against police brutality. U.S. investigators believe it was directed from this so-called troll factory in St. Petersburg, Russia.
It's a way to suppress votes and stoke fear at a level of sophistication that I don't think we appreciated at the time.
Investigators say the Russian factory also is behind these YouTube videos, first reported by the Daily Beast, aimed at black communities attacking Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton is not our candidate.
The speakers claim to be in Atlanta, but investigators think they may actually be people hired by the Russians in Africa. And the Russians remained busy even after the election. Another Russian group called Black Fist organized self-defense classes, supposedly for protection against the police. 5 American fitness trainers were hired to run them.
They paid me $320 for the month, 4 classes.
They're taking advantage of people who really care about the community.
Right. It's very sneaky. It's very sneaky. It's very underhanded.
And in fact, Brian, the Attorney General Jeff Sessions was asked today on Capitol Hill if he believes the U.S. is prepared for what the Russians continue to do.
Yes, David, he had a stark answer. Probably not, he said. We're not, he said. The midterm elections are just over a year away, and there is still no national strategy to deal with the issue, David.
Brian, you'll stay on it. In the meantime, tonight, the Attorney General Jeff Sessions was also asked by members of the Senate Judiciary Committee about the firing of FBI Director James Comey and whether the president ever mentioned Russia as a reason.
What exactly did President Trump tell you was his reason for firing Director Comey?
What I can tell you, he did ask for our written opinion, and we submitted that to him.
Did the president ever mention to you his concern about lifting the cloud on the Russia investigation?
Senator Feinstein, that calls for a communication that I've had with the president, and I believe it remains confidential.
We also learned today that the Attorney General Sessions has not been interviewed by Special Counsel Robert Mueller, nor has an interview been requested. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Wednesday. We hear from that hero security guard in that Las Vegas hotel. Also, the American gymnastics star, what she's now revealed. Allegations of sexual assault, and she describes what she says was the scariest night of her life. The deadly shooting and carjacking in an American neighborhood, the manhunt tonight, the driver and baby pulled from the car. And passengers horrified as they watch a plane fly too close to the tower right here, and there is news coming in tonight about the pilots.